Hey guys, hope you're all well. Right, another little job. It's not interesting at all, this job. It's quite boring for someone to share, but I thought I'd share it to give you an idea, well, try and give you an idea of all the shenanigans behind the scenes in here, and to give you an idea of sometimes the ridiculous hours I end up working, just to, put food in the belly and things like that. Right, I've got to do a wheel swap and give this a bit of a check over, swap handlebars, brake calipers and things like that. So basically it's this thing. As you can see, this is in Supermoto trim, and it's got to go back to dirt trim. I'm just hoping, I've checked through the bag of stuff he's brought me. I'm just hoping it's all the same spindles, because I can't see spindles and things like that. So I'm hoping, he said it's all in the bag. Whatever came off it with the dirt bike wheels in, when somebody changed it to this, it all's supposed to be here. So I'm hoping I ain't gonna have any problems with that, because it's a fairly big job, really. You might think that's going to be easy, just bang the wheels out and bang the others in. Yeah, it still takes a lot of time. And obviously the handlebars, all the stuff's got to be stripped off the handlebars, and the new handlebars on as well. But the main thing is, there's other things that he wants doing, but the main criteria of this job is to get the off-road wheels in with the brakes working, because he wants to go out this Sunday with all his mates blasting round all the green lanes on this thing, and obviously it's not going to do it in this trim. So yeah, he twisted my arm and give me a decent bribe to work through half the night to get his bike sorted so he can go off playing. Anyway, let's start removing wheels and get stuck into this thing. It's quite smart, actually. I do like it. I do like it like that. That'd be more suited to me with the way I am right now. But oh, it's quite smart. Somebody has thrown some of their hard-earned at this bike, that is for sure. It's all everything. It's all real carbon fibre. Yeah. I think I'm going to start with the back end, because that's the easiest one, because I haven't got to change the brakes on the back end. That's all as they are. But on the front end, we have this hoofing great big disc on there and a great big fat caliper that's got to come off. So that's going to mean bleeding all the brakes again. And I'm not sure about all this speedo setup. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Hopefully there's something on the original stuff for that to fit again, or else that might be a bit of a fiddle. So yeah, the front end's going to be a lot more involved, so that's why I'm doing the easy bit first, and then hopefully I won't be too dead on my feet, and we'll get all the front end swapped over. Like I say, it's not the most exciting job. I'm just sharing it just to give you guys an idea of how I go in here sometimes saying yes to far too many things, but ayo, it'll out with putting some coins in the piggy bank for this summer's road trip, won't it? That's the way I'm looking at it. Anyway, let's get stuck in. Right, because we've got all posh anodized bits on here, we can't be using one of these, because it tends to destroy them. So it's a very steady job with a spanner. Ooh. I do like these little bobbin carriers though, and the tensioners. I wonder if they do them for the XT. Because on the XT, there's actually no facility to put, well, without going through the axle, there's nowhere to put bobbins. I like that idea. That's food for thought. We are on the ground. Yeah, I like that. Look at them. Does anybody know you can get them for the XT660? In black, not blue, just good old plain black. I would have thought they had done them for this XT. I wonder. There's got to be, so I can't see down there. There's got to be a little bit where that unhooks from all that to get it off. Oh, it goes back as it goes that way. Of course it does. Come on. What a palaver. There we go. Right. Just going to get all the copper slip off everything. Each to their own and everything. I don't normally put copper slip on axles and stuff. Just a multi-purpose grease, I'll do it. Axles are nice and clean though. Oh, how old is this bike? It's not very old. 23. Very posh. Right for some innit. Right, let's get the wheel and see what we're up against with spacers and bearings on the wheel. And see what's fitting and what's not fitting. Okay, looks like all the spacers are in place, but feels like there's a lot of filth down there. The good old 12 gauge shotgun mop. Bit of a spray on it. Fetch all that out. That looks better. That's better. Right, you have to excuse the noise of the diesel heater for a minute. It's just getting up to temperature because the temperature's dropping in here. Right, moving on a little bit. And straight away we have our first little problem. As always. It wouldn't be the same in here, would it, if we didn't have some problems? What's going on here? Oh, nearly there. Let's try that one. Let's try that one. There we go. Right, that's the wheel set. Let's just drop that one on. All the spindle cleaned up as well and greased. Some just multi-purpose grease, not copper slip. Right, the first problem then. Chain's too short. Yeah. So the Supermoto wheel, guess what? Has a smaller sprocket. So obviously this chain was shortened to suit that. Now we're going back up to the dirt bike wheels. We have a much larger rear sprocket. So yeah, so now the chain is no good. As this bike is, I wouldn't call it an emergency. Well, it is really. He wants to go out with his pals at the weekend. and I've got no chance of getting a chain in by then. So I know I have got one chain knocking about in a box. The problem is, till I find it, I don't know what pitch it is. Or we can do a very short-term thing. The RM chain, and then I'll just get another one for the RM. But obviously that has got to be compensated for. But it gets this done and gone. First, I'm going to see if I can find that chain in a box. But like I say, I don't know what pitch it is. That's my first option. And if not, we'll have to take a look at the RM chain. Even then, I don't quite know if that's going to be long enough. Anyway, I've got the chain here. Laid out there, so whatever chain I find, at least I can lay it straight across the side of that, alongside it, and see what our lengths are like. First obstacle of the night. Anyway, let me go and see if I can find that chain. Right, first option out the window. So we need a 520 chain. The new one that I knew I had knocking about in a box is a 530. So that's that option off the table. So the only other one we got is a bit of a swap out with the RM, if it's long enough. So basically we had the one off the RM and immediately replace that. So don't panic, Sam, if you're watching. There'll be one ordered immediately. Yeah, so I'll clip that one off the RM. Fingers crossed. It will be a 520, but fingers crossed it's got enough links. It should have. Anyway, let's clip it off and find out. Right, second option off the table. It's exactly the same length. Oh dear. So we're a little bit stuffed for the chain, and it's 11 o'clock at night. I don't think there's any shops open that'll sell me a chain, and I've gone down the really clutching at straws option and put the wheel as far forward as possible. We're literally a link short. And every time the split link goes on there, we're a link short. And you can't have these chains really tight anyway. They've got to have plenty of play in them because of the huge travel on the suspension. So, well, the back wheel's in, the brakes are in, the spindle's all clean and greased and everything. We just haven't got a chain. So what I may as well do is get stuck into the front now and let's see what obstacles we meet there. I'm trying. Anyway, let me get onto the front now and see what we can do there. At least get the wheel out, get the dirt bike wheel in. We've got to get that great big brake caliper off because that's not going to be suitable. And get all the brakes linked up. I don't know what's going on up top just yet with the master cylinder and all that business. But we'll get the wheel side of things done first. So all this off, the conversion bracket off. And let's start putting all the standard stuff back on. Right, we're just releasing all these big brakes off this now. I've got the spindle out. Just want to get all this out of the way. Oh, that don't feel very nice. What's going on there? That feels horrible. I think some of these fittings are from a certain part of the world. You just tell some of the the fixings are quite nasty. This, oh, there we go. That feels terrible. Ooh. Just had tons of thread lock on it. You won't be able to tell on camera. They've just got that. They've just got that cheap feel and finish about them. Right, let's unplug that speedo wire, just so it's out of the way for now. I don't know what we're going to set that up on. Alright, we're going to have to release that and dump all the fluid out of it. I'm going to get the wheel out of the way first though, so we don't take any of the coatings off that. I want to get the other wheel in as soon as possible so this bike is safe. Ow, ow, ow. Right, that's all the fluid draining out now. I'll get all these wrapped up and bagged up. Right then, another little fingers crossed moment. So the Dirtbike back wheel had the spacers in there, and the Supermoto back wheel's got its own spacers. I've just come to the front now. The front Dirtbike wheel has no spacers in there, so I am hoping these are the actual spacers for it. And also, the bearings in that front wheel are frightening. Absolutely done. Yeah, you obviously ain't gonna get a sense of it on camera, but oh my, I'll see if I can get close. That feels like it's got rocks in it. That was about a trip to the shop away from collapsing by the feel of that. Absolutely terrible. Again, I'm pretty sure these wheels are from a certain part of the world. They're not branded at all. And all these wheel companies love to brand their wheels. Talon, Excel, so on and so on. They always brand their wheels. There's nothing on these wheels. Absolutely nothing. But that bearing is at it. Anyway, let's see if I can bang them spacers out, because they go a fair ways into the hub. So I'm going to have to try and tap them out. If that collapsed bearing will let me get at it. And hopefully they'll go into the Dirtbike wheel. Right, bit of aluminium. Oh yes, that's moving really easy. Let's get ready to catch it. There we go. Fingers crossed they are the ones. Right, let's get the other one out of the side where the bearing's gone pear-shaped. This side doesn't feel very good either. Wow. It's got plasticine bearings fitted by the look of it. There we are. Now look at this. Without that in, I can't even move that bearing. It won't budge. I'd love to get that out to see the state of it. Oh, I got a little... No, it just rocks. That is at it. He's quite lucky, really. That weren't far off, just yeah, exploding into small pieces by the feel of that. Anyway, let's see if these spacers fit the proper wheel. Right, I think we're looking good. I'm a bit cramped up here. Seem to be running out of space. Nice. Oh, I'm happy with that. We can get this wheel in there and the bike will be safe. Okay, second thing I can't complete is the front brake, because it has no brake pads. I thought, oh, maybe they're sort of universal thing. Well, not a universal thing, but they're in the big caliper that was on the Supermoto wheel. But no, they're totally and utterly different. So it has no brake pads. So I can't put that together. I can't bleed the front brake. I've got to put the stand. In fact, we've got to get them bars off, because he wants these Renthal twin wall bars putting on. So all that's got to come off anyway. Everything. I say he wants the standard braking system put back on it. So it's pretty much how it should be up there, by the twin wall bars. So I might as well do that little bit, and then I'll be just waiting for a chain and brake pads. Oh, he wants the seat cover doing as well. It's got that on. Yeah, so he's got a black seat cover with a spanner on it. Anyway, we're not having all the luck this evening, are we? But we're getting little bits done. And if I get as much as I can done, then it's less to do when he comes up with the parts. And hopefully, if he comes up with the parts soon enough, he will still be able to use it at the weekend. We'll see. Right, everything off, bars off. Ready for these very posh Renthal twin walls. I like them. They'd look really nice on my XT. Very nice. I'll just get these fitted loosely. Good old Renthals have these marks on them, so we can get them nice and central, perfectly aligned. Got to get all these nice and even. That's a little pet hate of mine, when you see handlebar clamps and they aren't pulled down level, like they've done one side up so it's got a big gap and the other's nearly touching. Details. I don't know why it bugs me. Right then. I'll have a mess about then, get them central. I'll just nip them down for now, and we'll get all the bits and bobs back on, all the bits and bobs and bits, and obviously all the standard fittings as well are back on. Some of this is going, this great big pot and everything, all this for all the standard bits, like a little Micro switch here. I'm not 100% sure. Is that a mapping switch on these things? I don't know, to be honest. But that was just sort of bound up and cable tied doing nothing, and I know it needs to live in there. I'll have to look that up because I'm intrigued. I need to know anyway. I want to know. Is it like a mapping switch? Possibly. So that little blue thing there, definitely, I'm sure that lives in there. Sure it does. Yeah, it's got to. There's any place for it. There we go, look. That's in there. And that is that switch there with 2 settings. I'm sure it's 2 map settings. I could be completely wrong, but I'm sure that's what it is. Get in there though. Look at these little beauties. They're a bit nice. Grips that clamp on. Sort of on a sleeve on the go, and you just clamp them up. Oh, I like them. They're lovely. Right, now this, next I've got to take all the throttle off. That's it, we can get at that, we can get at that. But we're going to remove all this now because this grip also comes sort of pre-sleeved. It's all very nice stuff. I've got to give him that. He hasn't cut any corners. It's all very nice stuff. Yeah, that's all sleeved, and then you get a selection of the internal parts of the throttle. So this is a push me pull me throttle cable. So yeah, it'd be either of them two, I guess. And that is like a nut sort of shape on the end that inserts into them. Right, let's pull that apart and get that done. Then I think that's the handlebars done. And I've got to drop the headlight back in. I've had to have the headlight all pulled back to get it everything, to relax all these cables and route them nicely. I'm happy with all that now, so we'll get all that cable tied in and that'll be all done. Alright, let's pull this apart. Look, so you get the selection of inserts. It's going to be this one, and that goes that way. There we are. There we are, our bazaar. Oh, come on. That's the one. Just, there we go. That's them on. I'm not going to go mad tighten everything right up for now. I just want to then make sure everything's going to be okay. All the routing of everything, double check it. Whew. We're nearly there. I think we broke the back of it anyway. All the standard levers back on. Yeah, not bad. Okay, I think that will do me. That's all the bars on, all the original bits and bobs back on, all back to standard as far as I'm aware, apart from the very posh twin walls and them handlebar grips. They're fantastic, they are. I like them. Makes it nice and simple. Right, obviously chain is too short, so he's going to wake up to some messages that I've sent him that we need a chain. I will count the link, so because he won't have a clue how, so I'm going to have to send him the information on that so he gets the correct one with the correct links. And also obviously the front brake pads. I can't do anything else with the front brake till I've got pads, and then we'll get that caliper on, bleed all the brakes up, and then he'd be ready to go. I've got the seat off at the minute because he's bought a new seat cover, and I just wanted to see what was needed to get that on. Again, I'm not going to be able to do that just yet because it's all stapled. I have got a stapler, but a lot of these seats, Paul's little RM included, they've got quite a narrow gap that you've got to try and get the staples right down and in, and with just a normal stapler you can't do it. So they do these staples with like a long nose on them, which you can get right down. One of them is definitely needed. Been on about it for a long time, and at the end of the day he can still ride his bike with that seat on. It's just, it'll have to be something I do for him in the near future. But while I've got the side panel off and the seat, having a look at the air filter, I don't think that air filter's ever been cleaned since this bike was new. It's minging. Look at this. Nice. That air filter should be that colour there and that little patch. I'm not doing it now, but I will give it a wash for him. So you got to get it washed, let it all dry out, and then just give it a light dosing of filter oil. I'll do that. At the end of the day, I've got to wait for the chain and the front brake pads to arrive anyway. But apart from that, we are all done. Everything's all good again. Obviously all the spindles have all been greased back up and stuff like that, and with the chain in the pads and that air filter cleaned, it'll be ready to go. And like I say, we'll do the seat at a later date. I'm shattered. I'm gonna have a look at the time in a minute. I am. Oh, I've seen the subframes on these things. It's quite trick. All that, it's like a composite subframe. Look at that. It's a hell of a thing, isn't it? That is. It's a nice bike. I like it. It really is a nice bike. Oh, I've got to clip this back in as well. I noticed this was all wonky. Like coming up on this side, it's all come unclipped down here, so I'll get that back in for him as well. I've tried pushing it, but it's proper tough stuff, so I'm gonna have to do something, try and lever that out a tiny bit without damaging it to get it clipped back down. Anyway, my back is telling me I need to go and lie down. What time is it? Oh, 3 minutes past the 2 AM. I must be balmy. I got Gertrude coming round at 9 o'clock. So by the time I've sorted this out, gone down and had myself a bit of a wash, I'll probably get a couple of hours sleep at the most. Anyway, that's it. I need to go and get bikes in and shut these doors. It wasn't the most interesting video, but I just wanted to share a few behind the scenes jobs, just so you can see, you know, sometimes this happens, you know, guys want bikes, friends want bikes like now because they want to get out on them, and I do try my best to try and help them out. and sometimes that means working stupid hours. But heyo, it's nearly done now. That's do. I'm off. Cheers for watching, guys. Take care.